Filmsnobbery is brought to you by Sony Creative and Vegas Pro 9 editing software, professional video editing, audio production, and Blu-ray disc production. Final Draft, the industry standard for script writing, version 8 is now available. And Boris Effects, the advanced level plugin and application for all kinds of editing fun. Be sure to also check out their Red, Continuum, and Graffiti software suites. Hello everyone and welcome to Filmsnobbery. It's a brand new year, 2010, 2010, whatever the heck you want to call it. I am your host, the film snob Nick Baisley. Here with me in the new year is, who's been fairly absent from my life recently, and I've kind of had a yearning for him, Mr. Jerry Cavallaro. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, everyone. I had a yearning for you too, Nick. I missed you. I missed the show.
You had some issues, but we're going to get to those in a little bit. The first thing I want to do is, because we know he's a busy man, and also we all know that you're not here to listen to me talk. You're really here to listen to the filmmakers talk. And what I want to do now is I want to introduce briefly a man who he created a company called Sabi in 2006. He is a director of such movies as I Fucking Hate You and Model Photographer, and also has a movie coming out in the near future, or that's in production. We'll work on the details on that one shortly, called Heart of Now. Mr. Zak Forsman is with us. I think before we bring him on, I want to actually show you guys a quick clip of from his movie I Fucking Hate You, which is available now. You guys check out I Fucking Hate You.
Think you're rocking me? Well, fucking A, I'm 10 times rocking you. You think you're cool, too cool for school, Carol. Well, I fucking hate you. So go to hell, eat my fucking lunch. I hate you so bad, I want you to die. Die by having your spleen ripped out and fucking bloody bashed. I'm almost fucking done with, oh God! I wanna rip your spinal cord out and I'll fucking break it over my shin. Then I'll begin to love you. Love you like you want me to. Cause this song's about love. It's not about hurting people. Love, love, love. Love it, love it, love it, love, love. Love you long time. Oh. Love, love, love. Love you, love you, love you, love, love. Love you long time. Oh, me love you long time.
Well, everyone, thank you for watching. That was a clip from I Fucking Hate You by our guest tonight, director and founder of Sabi, or co-founder of Sabi, director Zak Forsman. Hello, Zak. How are you? And thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, Nick. I'm happy to be here. I'm a big fan of your show.
Oh, thanks, Zak. I really appreciate that. No, I see you in the chat room, and you've been in with us for a while, and I can't tell you how much that means to me personally, as well as I'm sure that some of the knowledge that you've helped spread in the chat room and online and stuff like that in general has been immensely helpful to our audience. And thank you again for agreeing to come on, taking time out. I know you've got a slew of new things that you're working on, and I want to make sure we get to everything. So first thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about real quick. Let's get to the meat of what you do. You created Sabi in 2006 with your longtime friend Kevin Shaw. Is it Shaw or Shay?
Shaw.
Shaw. Okay, cool. And we were actually talking just very briefly before the show started, where the name Sabi was somewhat inspired from. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, Sabi is it's a word of Japanese origin. You may be familiar with the phrase wabi-sabi. The Sabi half, as defined by one of my great inspirations, Andrei Tarkovsky, is what we took to we thought was an appropriate name for our production company. because the way that he defines it is that sabi is a word that is used to describe anything that captures the passing of time, whether it's wrinkles, in an old person's face or a worn down chair, and by the nature of the fact that we work in a temporal art form, it felt very, it was very fitting. And in the book that comes from, called Sculpting in Time, also is, it's one of those texts that has been infinitely inspirational and has been a great guide. When you're alone in a dark editing bay trying to rediscover your movie, it's a good text to go back to from time to time.
As far as editing goes, I mean, you guys, the way you shoot is unlike most filmmakers and most film production companies. You guys take a more naturalistic, or dare I say organic approach to filmmaking. You guys encourage creativity on your shoots. From everything from the script on up, all the way to the director, to the actors. I mean, you really allow them to own the parts. You don't necessarily hold the words of the script as gospel. You use them as a framework to sculpt the model that will become the film.
That's exactly right, and you have me considering hiring you as a spokesperson because you put it very well.
I will email you my rates. No.
Sounds good. All right. But yeah, you're exactly right. Another thing that we try to infuse in our work, in addition to what you're speaking about, is a heightened level of collaboration. So, yes, we start with a very solid framework. We have a screenplay that's been worked, on our last two features. The screenplays each took a year to write. But when we finally get to the point where we're shooting on camera, we really value the chance to throw those words away, the dialogue away, and stick with those original intentions that the characters have in those scenes, so that they have these goals and objectives to pursue. And then give them freedom, and we create a safe atmosphere for the actors to go to what could be potentially painful places. So we can get those great surprises that I have no business trying to write in a screenplay. Sometimes there are things that are just magical that are impossible to plan for. So like as you're saying, we like to create an environment that would foster that kind of
it almost seems like you maintain that kind of almost childhood wonder of like, what if we did it this way? And the other thing, speaking of collaboration on your films as well, I think it should be noted that Sabi is not just, it's not just Kevin and Zach. I mean, the movies you guys put out are by, you guys have several directors. We have one movie right here that I have in my hands, a short film about letting go, which is a film by Sabi that is directed by J. Eric Reese. And so, and this is, this, all you did on it was you were an executive producer, in which case I'm assuming there was some, you were probably the money man, I'm guessing. But
and then we also provided some creative guidance as well.
Sure. And speaking of providing creative guidance, it's another thing that Sabi really fosters is a sense of mentorship with the people that you work with. I know that you had worked with, you met a young filmmaker last year named Gail Yee, who's an ardent fan of your work, and you had worked with her a little bit.
Right. Well, I mean, we've never actually met. She lives in Vancouver, I believe. But she saw some of our work, whether it be through YouTube or whatever of those many platforms, for people to land on, we put out there. Somehow she discovered Sabi's work, contacted me, had some questions, and I started giving her, some advice on some things. When she got her first screenplay for a short together, I read it several times, gave her notes and some ideas, some options, and then I sent her a kit full of gear. I sent her a box full of gear that was just sitting in our office and otherwise going unused. Because, she's got no money to make this thing with, but, I've seen some of the things that she's shot, and she's got a very creatively intelligent eye. She's done some things that I think are, they're brief and they're small, but they're beautiful. And you can tell that there's a genuine artist about to be born in her. I really believe that. And when you see something like that, you almost can't help but to want to offer, whatever support you can within your means.
And from what I'm looking at, as far as even if you look at every single DVD here, again, I have a short film about letting go by J. Eric Reese. I have another one here. I Fucking Hate You, which was directed by yourself, as well as another one here called Model Photographer. That was also done by yourself. And the one thing that all of these have in common, aside from your involvement in them, is they all say on them a film by Sabi versus, say, where you would normally see a film by Spike Lee or a film by Kevin Smith or Quentin Tarantino. You're really fostering again, going back to the collaborative experience of filmmaking, you're saying almost by putting this here that we all made this movie. It wasn't just the director. It wasn't just the producer or the production well, you're kind of saying the production company, but you mean it as a whole.
Exactly. Yeah. The film by attribute, is conventionally attributed to the director or writer-director. But in a way of acknowledging all the artists really who came together on our productions to create something that is, quite honestly, bigger than any one of us could have done on our own. It's our way of acknowledging that it's almost like you've been on film sets, you become like a family. It's like this family of artists that came together to make something. And so, Sabi is that. It's our Sabi family.
It seems like you seem to attract that type of kind of family environment, because you have, obviously your involvement with Sabi, which is, yours and Kevin's baby, basically, but also you're part of a burgeoning group of filmmakers called The New Breed, which includes such Filmsnobbery alum as yourself and Mr. Gary King. And how did you get started with all of that?
Well, the short film I made, pardon my French, I Fucking Hate You, was part of, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the From Here to Awesome Discovery Festival and Showcase that the Workbook Project started. I think Lance Weiler, Aaron Crumley, and M. Strange sort of conspired to create a new discovery engine for filmmakers. And that was the From Here to Awesome Showcase. Are you familiar with that? I'm
not personally, no, but I will be. I will make a point to be after this show.
Yeah. That has since gone into a research and development phase. Lance wants to see how it naturally evolves into the next stage. It'll probably rear its ugly head again next year. But anyway, sure, I Fucking Hate You. One's a bad word. It was voted the favorite of the 11 shorts, and then a friend of mine named Zeke Zucker, he had a feature called In Search Of, and that was voted the favorite of the 11 features that were part of this showcase. And we were taken to London, and London was actually where I really started to be introduced to this community of people. And you quickly start to realize that the community is much smaller than you ever imagined it was. Several months later, then I was at South by Southwest, and you're seeing all the same faces again, which is great for me because I love meeting people. Even if I wasn't a filmmaker, I would still be going to these festivals because these are people that are like-minded and they enjoy. They have the same enthusiasm for cinema that I do. I'm kind of losing track. I forget what your original question was.
No, my original question really was, we were talking about how you became involved with the New Breed.
Right. Okay. And so, Lance Weiler then, shortly after South by Southwest, gave me a call and said, I'm looking for someone to be the editor of this New Breed blog. It was something that he had going for about a year, and he had a filmmaker named Todd Sklar who was blogging about his theatrical tour. He had taken 4 films around the country in a van. But the blog kind of slowed down, and he was looking for someone to take it over and run it. He called me. I was very honored to do so, and I've been the editor of it for about a year, a little less than a year now, and with the going into the new decade, the Workable project's going under a pretty substantial redesign. And so the New Breed is part of that sort of relaunch that we're doing toward the end of January, maybe hopefully at the end of January, to coincide with Slam Dance and the Filmmaker Summit, but it might be a little delayed. Anyway, we have some new things that we're taking the New Breed in a slightly new direction. The filmmakers who are part of it are already know a little bit about what's coming on. For the future, and I'm not sure if I can talk about those things yet, but
you can spill all your secrets to me offline. That's fine. But no, the New Breed seems to me to be another. It's kind of like that next step in filmmaker collaboration, because it's one thing for, and this is just my opinion, and you can feel free to weigh in on it. My opinion is that it seems like a lot of filmmakers who are under one production banner, they work together, but basically they all work on their own separate projects and stuff like that. It seems like more and more, it seems like things like New Breed, Open Indie, Piracy, and all that start to be more of a community of filmmakers and people that are literally trying to work together to further further not only their the money coming into their pockets, but the creative output that they're putting out. Being able to put out more movies faster, better, and with less problems on the distribution side, which is where a lot of films, when it comes down to it, is pre-production gets hung up because of budget, and then post-production gets hung up because of distribution. And it seems like you guys are finding ways to, you're identifying problems, and then you're finding ways around that. And that is, a part of, what you were doing with your new distribution outfit, Cinefist. Is, not only do you have a production company here with Sabi, but you're also now taking your movies and you're putting them out theatrically yourself. So
yeah, that's right. 2010 we officially started a new company called Cinefist, and it's something that every low budget filmmaker probably has to face at one point or another, which is you've got to form your own distribution entity. And we're taking it to a very professional is a dumb word. It's a word I can't stand. But we're taking it very seriously and doing it a little bit by the numbers. Actually creating another LLC, so that it is its own entity. We'll be selling the films that Sabi produces to this company, and then the company will be in charge of everything from theatrical, home video, making VOD deals, both cable and internet. And pretty much anything that has to do with exhibition. But Cinefist has other components as well. So.
Okay. Now, one of the components of what you're doing, and this is actually a question that came in from the chat over here from Sherry Candler, which is, she said, ask him about what he's doing with the downtown indie cinema. And I think that what you're doing there is very unique, and at least in the manner in which you're approaching it. I think that anyone can rent out a cinema and say, I'm going to screen a movie here. But you're setting up something that is more legacy involved, like, something that can happen on a consistent basis, that is something that is exclusively Cinefist.
Right. Well, Ted Hope had that great blog entry, I think it was in September last year, and it was titled 18 Actions Toward a Truly Free Film. And he listed in great detail and with great insight all the things that filmmakers really could be doing to not only move themselves forward, but to move our community forward. And one of those near the top was curation, and being an advocate for other people's work. And that's something that I wasn't doing. Other than purchasing DVDs of films that I liked. So I had this relationship with a theater here in Los Angeles, which is I mean, it's really one of the greatest venues I've ever been to, and I'm very fortunate that it happens to be in the city I live in, because they have this top line multiplex standards, but they've got an art house sensibility. So the owner and operator of the Downtown Independent, his name is Jim Kerr. I had put on a few events there that we had really good turnout for them, and we threw parties on the roof, and that's where Jim makes his money, selling beer and wine. So he said, "Hey, look, I'd really like it if you'd consider programming a regular night of films." And a light bulb went off over my head, and I immediately thought of Ted's tasking us to be curating and supporting other people's work. So I quickly conceived of doing an event-based screening series, which would incorporate not just screening the film, but we would do things like a Q&A with the filmmaker. If not local to Los Angeles, the theater's set up to do it via Skype, so we can project the filmmaker right on the screen, and he can have a Q&A with the audience as though he were there. Some of the other things, and I don't know if this is public yet, but I'll announce it here on your show.
Please do.
We want to encourage audience participation in this. So while there is a selection process where we're kind of choosing the films that we like and we think best kind of represent the aesthetic of Cinefist, that handful of films is going to be presented to the audience in trailers before each screening, so that they can vote for the film that will be at the next screening.
Oh, that's
and I think
groovy.
something like that will encourage
I really like
the
that.
audience to be a little more invested screening, because they're choosing what plays.
And I think that's really important because you're putting, I don't want to use a relatively, old cliche, but you're putting the power back in the hands of the people, where, you go to a, your local multiplex, the chain multiplex, you don't have that option. And I think that really that's going to set you guys apart in that area. And I can only hope to encourage other art house cinemas, in larger cities, and then we move on to smaller venues and stuff like that to do that as well, because I think that sounds like an excellent idea. Yeah, a lot of these things that you're talking about. Yeah, no, I was going to say, I'm sorry. A lot of these things that you're talking about are recently outlined in, you put out a post on the New Breed website, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's newbreed.workbookproject.com. And you put out a post called, it was your New Year's resolution. And it's funny because to me, it really didn't seem like one, it seemed like several. And you took some of the things that were inspired by Ted Hope and John Reese and his book, Think Outside the Box Office. There you go, Sherry. So now I brought it up. So, put the money in the pocket. No. But you also, you talk about, that's where you talk about curation and what it means to. It's kind of, I think it's a way of film philanthropy. And I love that, and that, with the curation and your mentorship and the way that you're trying to foster community, I think that's a really good idea in trying to elevate, independent film to another echelon, which is something that I always enjoy seeing, being the film snob that I am. It's tongue-in-cheek most of the time, but sometimes I'm just like, God damn it, these movies got to be better, and they got to be out there, and people need to see them. Movies like Stuck Like Chuck, movies like I Fucking Hate You. And I'm going to keep saying it because I just love the title. And actually, speaking of the movies, Model Photographer, I Fucking Hate You, and a short film about letting go, there are two ways that you can actually get these. The first one is you can go over to, I'm going to plug myself on this one because I'm an affiliate, sir. You can go to filmsnobbery.com, click on our link on our front page, and you can actually buy these directly from Sabi Pictures. Or, you know what, if you're in our audience tonight, guess what? I can give you these. I have 2 3-packs of these movies that I would love to give to an audience member right now. One of them, actually this one right here, a short film about letting go, is actually signed by the director, J. Eric Reese. So if you guys want this, I think the way we're going to have to do it is where, Jerry, do me a favor. Yes, Jerry Cavallaro is still here, guys. Jerry, do me a favor. I need you to count up all of the people that you can just see in the chat room right now. And I want you to count them up for me and tell me how many we've got. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have our guest Zach. We're going to have him pick a number between 1 and whatever that top number is. And whoever that is, Jerry, you tell me who it is, and they're going to get they'll be the first people to get a 3-pack of Sabi Pictures movies. And for more information on other stuff they've got going on, you guys can also go over to www.sabipictures.com to go check that out and check out their other stuff. I mean, we've got, these are, you look at a movie like I Fucking Hate You, it's a festival award, winner. You've got the winner from Here to Awesome, the Downtown Film Festival, Fear No Film, and the Sacramento, and these are all, either audience awards, director's prizes. I mean, these are good. Generally, I generally like the audience award of almost any film that's out there. Stuck Like Chuck won the audience award for best comedy at the Staten Island Film Festival in '09. So there you go, Jerry. You owe me for that one.
You also won the Independent Spirit Award in Orlando. Remember, Nick? No.
Okay.
We have 14 people. We have 14 registered people right now.
Okay. All right. So Zach, do me a favor. Just pick a number between 1 and 14.
Sure. Well, I'm a little bit obsessive compulsive about this number, so there's no way I can't go with it, but it's the number 3.
Number 3. So.
Okay, now pick going up or down.
Yeah, because number 3 works for me. That's why. The person whose number 3 is our producer.
Congrats. All right, let's go down 1.
Down 1. Actually, one of our newer fans here, one of our newer viewers, Desert Vows. Congratulations, Desert Vows. And you just won yourself a 3-pack of Sabi Pictures films, such films as A Short Film About Letting Go, Model Photographer, and I Fucking Hate You. Make sure you do me a favor, email me over at Nick, N-I-C, at filmsnobbery.com, and email me and give me your address and name so that I can send you some free movies. So I want to thank...
I just want to say, I realized that we really should have did a different contest. We should have had people tweet out, "I fucking hate you" at Nick Baisley or at Filmsnobbery.
That's fine. We can still do that because what is this? Oh, I've got another 3-pack. I've got another 3-pack of Sabi Pictures movies. So that was actually a really good idea, Jerry. Thank you for that. So.
I was thinking, oh wow, I fucking hate Nick Baisley, and I was like, wait.
I know that you would go right there. So I think that's a good idea. I think that I think that the first person that we see, and hold off because you guys are going to jump the gun. I can already tell. And Jerry, I don't have Twitter up at the moment, so you're going to have to be the gatekeeper on this one. The first person to tweet out the following phrase, BJC, you jumping the gun. The first person to tweet out, Nick Baisley, I fucking hate you, but I love at Filmsnobbery, wins the 3-pack of Sabi Pictures releases, including I Fucking Hate You, A Short Film About Letting Go, and Model Photographer. So, and the first person to do that, and Jerry will let me know, will get another 3-pack. So, Desert Vows, congratulations to you for getting the easy one. But in my opinion, somewhat less fun. And whoever gets the next one will be good. Jerry, while you figure that out, I want to just segue briefly into for Zach. I want you to talk a little bit about this Filmmaker Summit that's it's supposed to be of epic independent film proportions. It's this independent film summit, this Filmmaker Summit that's happening it's at Sundance, and it's sponsored by Indie Flicks, and the guys from the Workbook Project are going to be there. Yourself is going to be there. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, the Filmmaker Summit, I believe, was born, it sprang from the mind of Lance Weiler, who's the founder of the Workbook Project. And he has co-conspired with Slam Dance, Saskia Wilson-Brown and Peter Baxter at Slam Dance, and then also the good folks over at the Open Video Alliance to put on a summit where filmmakers are going to move away from the talk. We've had a lot of talk through 2009 about how the model's broken for independent filmmakers. To move away from all the talk and toward defining some action with the intent of defining a charter in some ways, in terms of, this is how it needs to be for us to sustain ourselves going into the next decade. The day is going to kick off at 11 a.m. Park City time with Steven Soderbergh. He's joined us, and then I believe John Reese is speaking, and a handful of others. But we're also going out. They're going out globally to filmmakers in Finland, the Philippines, to really make this a worldwide event.
I'm really excited about this. I mean, since you had even brought it up when you and I were talking, and you were like, "Oh, there's going to be this big thing over there," and as I've delved a little bit deeper into it, looking at some of the message boards that have been put up and watching other filmmakers discuss it, and also, kind of just seeing the evolution of it, I got to tell you, it gives me goosebumps in places I didn't know I could get them. And I mean, that you're doing something right when you get people like Steven Soderbergh in your corner, and I'm really excited that you guys. I think it's important to get someone like Steven Soderbergh because I think he is somewhat of the epitome of a sustainable filmmaker, or at least he's the quintessential sustainable filmmaker. He's someone who can work within and without the studio system. I mean, he can go and make, yes, he can make films like, 1 Hour, not 1 Hour Fantasy Girl. That's a different movie by the good folks over at No Restrictions Entertainment. But he can make movies like The Girlfriend Experience, but yet he can also make smaller features like Bubble and stuff like that. And it's very, I like that you guys are getting. I mean, I hate to say it because it kind of also applies to independent film in general, it seems like. It's like, well, you guys got a name in your corner, so it seems like you guys are going to get some traction. Yeah, so everyone, definitely stay tuned, on this. Is this something that is going to be able to be viewed online at all? Is it going to be streamed anywhere? Is it going to be, is this just something we're going to read about in Variety the next day, or on Filmsnobbery, maybe, if we can cover it somehow?
It'll be everywhere. It's definitely going to be webcast live, again, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., the local time, going by the local time in Park City. I should also mention, you may have said this, but in addition to the three entities, Slam Dance, the Open Video Alliance, and the Local Project, two of the really big sponsors are, and I know they're friends of your show, or Sheila at IndieFlix. IndieFlix is sponsoring the event, and also the people at X Mission.
Yeah, I love what every one of those companies is doing right now for independent film. You're right. I mean, Sheila is, she's one of the heads of IndieFlix, and her and I have talked many times, and she's got some great things in the hopper in regards to, indie film distribution, and I love what she's doing there. The more I hear about things like the Workbook Project, Open Indie, and some of these other companies that you brought up, the more I'm hopeful for the next couple of years, because I think that the last couple of years, with the economy being what it's been, I think we've gotten some great stories out of the past few years, not only from the filmmakers themselves, but the films that have actually been outputted. But I think that from the points of sustainability, I think that the economy really took its toll on a lot of people, and I see that you guys are taking some of the problems that have been brought up over the past few years, and you're not only shedding light on them, which I think is just as important, but at the same time you're offering solutions, and it's almost like you guys have a plan, and I think that everyone needs to definitely pick up on this as far as, whether you can watch the screencast from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Park City Central Time. Is it Mountain Time, right? It's Mountain Time, I believe. And whether you watch,
yeah, I imagine it's Mountain Time.
yeah, whether you watch that, whether you read about it the next day, whether, whatever, I think that as a community, discussion needs to be had regarding this particular topic, this Filmmaker Summit, because I think that it also represents one of the first times in the recent past anyway, where a group of independent filmmakers, producers, and I dare I even say enthusiasts are getting together in a formal situation it's one thing for us to get together online and just go, yeah, what do you think about this? Well, it could be done better and maybe do it this way. But this is done at Sundance in a more formal manner that is allowing filmmakers to almost give a mission statement for the next few years.
Sure. And we're also, there definitely is there is leadership that's going to be there at the summit, but Lance's vision for this is also to greatly include what the community wants. So if it's happening in the background right now, but Lance has privileged me with being able to invite people into a knowledge base that we are cultivating in the background. If any of the listeners out there, if they're not already a part of it, if they haven't already been contacted by me, they could email me at Zak, Z-A-K, at sabipictures.com, and I'll give you the details on how to create an account in this knowledge base for the Filmmaker Summit. It's pretty much a question and answer format intended to discover solutions. We all have our own solutions, but there's not a central, all of our solutions are, they're in filmmaking forums where we post them, or they're on Twitter, or they're in our blogs. They're all over the place. So, we're looking for a place that could be a singular resource where a filmmaker could come with a question, and there'll be someone who's an expert in that particular field who could provide a good answer. So again, if you want to be a part of that, it's also going to go towards shaping the summit itself. Because the questions that seem to be most pressing at this point in time are going to be addressed, as best as they can during this.
And if you guys aren't a part of this Filmmakers Summit discussion, I got to tell you, from firsthand experience, there's a lot of good ideas and a lot of answers coming out of this discussion on multiple topics, and I really think that it would behoove any filmmaker who isn't taking part in this already, Jerry, to really get in on this. Contact Zak at sabipictures.com, Z-A-K at sabipictures.com, and make sure that you get involved in the discussion, because it's like anything. You get out of it what you put into it, and right now the discussions that's being had I think it's very important, and it needs to be. I think that if you value your career as a filmmaker, a relatively serious filmmaker, you really should understand what your contemporaries are doing as well, your contemporaries and your peers. So there you have it. That's pretty much all the time we have right now for Mr. Zak Forsman. I really got to thank you again for coming on. Is there anything else that you have coming on that you want to talk about real quick or plug before we ship you on off?
I'll save it for a future appearance. Although one thing I do want to mention is I do hope to, with regard to the Cinephish screening series, I know Filmsnobbery is making it to Los Angeles sometime in 2010, and I look forward we can do a show, maybe a live remote show or just coverage, and just partner to this community, build some.
No, we're really excited actually about that. We're you know, you and I had kind of briefly talked about it, and you know, I didn't want to say anything before you did, but no, we're really excited about that. Yes, we are. The plan this year is to get our butts out to LA as soon as possible. I actually have my producer, and I guess now is as good a time as any to introduce the new executive producer, Jeff Koenig, who is not physically here now, but will be within the next month. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be revamping the show a little bit. Nothing serious. We're going to add some new contents, a lot of pre-tape stuff. We're going to still do the live interviews and do all the live stuff that we've been doing in the past. But, you know, having a couple of people here locally is really going to allow us to spread our wings a little bit and allow us to get to a position where a little bit later on this year, the idea is that we're going to be out in LA. We're going to be working with such talented people as Zak Forsman and Sabi and Cinefist and anyone else that we can get our hands on, quite frankly, while we're out there. And you know, we would definitely love to do some work at the Downtown Independent with you guys, promoting Cinefist, promoting film in general. Interacting with the audiences and reaching new audiences. So I'm really excited about that. I went into this year with no trepidation at all. I've actually been very excited since day one, and a lot of that excitement is due to the fact that I knew that I was having Zak Forsman as our first guest of Filmsnobbery 2010. And again, Zak, I gotta thank you for taking the time out, and I'm very, very grateful. And thank you.
I'm honored, Nick. I'm honored to be on the show, and you know, Filmsnobbery is doing great things, so I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys with a trailer for a movie that is it currently in production, or is it coming out? You know the one I was referring to?
Yeah, Harder Now. Harder Now is done, shot, picture locked. It's going out to film festivals, and it's going to be released by Cinefist along with its sister film called White Knuckles. These are two features that have characters that overlap two stories. Cinefist is going to release them on the 4th of July, 2010. We're reclaiming that date as Interdependence Day, and we're going to start with the theatrical tour. You know, we're talking to some other companies that we're partnering up with to do a series of release windows, theatrical, home video.
Excellent. I'm excited about that. So everyone, remember July 4th, 2010. Look for Harder Now. If you can be fortunate enough to see it at a film festival near you beforehand, please do. And if you see Zak there, tell him I said hi. And with that, Zak, thank you very much. We're going to let you go, and we're going to leave you with well, not leave you, the audience, but we're going to leave Zak with the trailer for Heart of Now. Look for it, guys. I'm excited. So here we go. Heart of Now.
I don't get this game.
Well, you want to do this next time at your house?
I have a house guest. Can you sleep on the couch? Is that okay?
Yeah. Do you live by yourself?
Well, I'm trying to help out. I'm trying to help the kid out.
Is she hot?
I don't know.
Yeah, you
She's
know.
okay.
I have to tell you something. I'm pregnant.
I don't want to have kids, Amber.
Are you breaking up with me?
She got kicked out of her apartment and her boyfriend won't wear it on her.
I'm sorry.
People are watching.
You are beautiful and amazing and awesome.
How are you going to help? I don't really get that.
I could have just said no.
Yeah, but you wouldn't do something like that.
What kind of man are you?
I think I'm ready. I want to get serious about us.
You're not ready.
Whales swim slow. They take their time, and eventually they go around the whole world.
I've got something kind of monumental. I don't know, it'd be nice to have your help.
Do not do this to get this douchebag back.
Is everything okay?
What? What do you want?
I think he should leave.
And we're back. Everyone, that was the trailer for Heart of Now, filmed by Sabi Pictures. You can actually go learn more about Heart of Now over at www.sabipictures.com. Also, again, make sure you look for July 4th, 2010, when it hopefully hits theaters near you or even hits a film festival near you before then. For those of you who are interested in the music that you just heard in that soundtrack, the soundtrack for that trailer, the soundtrack for that movie is actually available over at cinefist.com. So you can actually go there directly, or again, you can click on the link on filmsnobbery.com and help support us and independent film. And I think that that's a win-win for everybody. So, Jerry, we went through this whole thing of, we had our guest and all this kind of stuff, and we were professing our not love for each other, but at the same time, we kind of missed each other, and you've been a little absent recently. You've had some computer issues. What's going on?
Nick, I'm a little hurt. You don't love me?
I love you, but I love you, but I do want to see other co-hosts.
Wow. There's hesitation, and then that. Did someone want to take the knife out of my back?
Nice.
How terrible.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
You literally get to co-host with Mike, right? You want to co-host with a bigger mic. I know how it is.
Yeah, pretty much. No, actually, real quick though, I do want to mention that for the audience out there that's listening and also promote in the chat, you can actually make sure you follow Zak on Twitter at he's at Zak Forsman, ZakForsman. Check him out. He's always got some good stuff going on. He's kind of one of my go-to. If he posts a link or something, it's usually one of my go-to things to read if I'm trying to think of stories for the show or something. So, but you haven't been able to click on any links recently, Jerry, because you've had an issue or two with the almighty Mac. The Macs that never have any problems that everyone claims.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, my Mac has fallen. Well, I was not online as much as usual for the holidays. Going to family and having people over the house and everything. So I haven't been online or using my computer as I usually do. So that's why I was kind of not on the computer much, like not online, not on Twitter as much, like right around Christmas and after Christmas. And then New Year's Eve, my Mac just died. I sent a tweet out about watching the Three Stooges marathon, and that was the last thing I did. And then I just put my Mac to sleep. I ended up falling asleep downstairs watching the Three Stooges marathon on the big TV. Woke up the next day at like 3 p.m. on New Year's Day. I had family coming over and stuff, so I had to get dressed right away. So I didn't go in my room, didn't use my computer or anything. And I just hung out downstairs the whole day, went to my room, turned on my computer, and it was like everything was frozen when I got out of sleep mode. So I shut it down, and when I turned it back on, blue screen of death.
And not only that, it evolved and mutated from the blue screen of death to the black screen of death, which in the Mac community means that's not good.
Well, it went from first I had a light blue screen of death. Then I had a light blue screen of death, which turned into a navy blue screen of death. And then it turned into a black screen of death. But now it's back to light blue screen of death. So it's confused. It's a little color confused.
It's color curious, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got you.
I kind of lost out on the world. I kind of felt like I had no idea what was going on. And you would think I'm like, okay, fine, I have no internet, I'm gonna watch some movies and stuff. But instead I was like, how can I use the internet? Let me sneak it. Let me go on my phone.
You were tweaking like a meth addict, weren't you? You were just
And here's really bad. My phone, just 2 days before my computer died. Well, it was like maybe 4 or 5 days before my computer died. My phone died. So it's like all my technology is failing me. So my phone died, so I couldn't go through, on emails and stuff. So now I got a new phone, but I'm not really online with it because it's just not working that well with the new phone. So yeah, all technology is failing me, which kind of sucks. And then to top it all off, I heard back from one of my bands from my film, and they told me they just split up, and their lead singer is claiming he owns the rights to this song, and they under their new name, they want to keep using the song. So now there's a big battle, and in the heart of the battle is the song that's in my film and Stuck Like Chuck. And now they said that I probably shouldn't use it until they settle it, and it's probably not going to be settled for a few months. And I want to start getting the film out there within way before that. Right. So I really I have to start looking for a new song for the opening of my film. So it's just like a shit storm on Jerry. So I need the help of Team Jerry around now. So yeah.
Well,
that's my new year so far.
Well, as much as I kind of came into the new year with wide eyes and hopeful aspirations, it seems like the world seems to definitely be raining shit on Jerry Cavallaro.
It does.
If you're looking for Jerry, he's hanging by his neck in his freaking closet. But Jerry, no, I mean, you know what though? I think that you're facing issues that I think a lot of filmmakers go through as far as the music is concerned. When you deal with bands that are not.
I had twice.
Well,
I replaced opening of my film, the opening music in my film, with this new band, and then this band broke up. So that's two bands out of two songs that I had at the opening of the film. Both bands have broken up. So I think I'm somehow cursed in the opening music for my film. So if you're in a band, you want to be in my film, you want to have your music in my film, you just don't want to be the opening number of my film.
Well, the thing of it is that, again, like I was trying to say, you're facing the same problem that a lot of independent filmmakers are facing with their, music, where, they can't afford to go and get the full rights for, like, something by The Police or something by Styx or any other band that's like relatively well known. Like
what random bands are you picking?
I know, just out of my head, I'm just like The Police and Styx.
It's like an '80s movie.
Pretty much. Come sail.
I'm pretty sure I can afford the rights to those bands now.
Come sail away with me, Jerry. But no, it's the fact of the matter is that you're forced to look towards people like yourselves, which are independents, and you're looking towards bands that are up on MySpace or that are kind of touring the local indie scene, or that maybe friends of friends I've heard of and stuff like that. And the problem with those is they're not all professionals, and that you don't have the guarantees. Like, you can get signed contracts and stuff, but if that band breaks up and that there's a dispute like the one you have to make the decision of, well, do I pursue it and hopefully try to come to some amicable agreement, or do I just say screw it and find another song?
Yeah, but I don't know, it's kind of funny. I don't know, I'm just trying to get over the whole Styx thing, but I have reached out to bigger bands in the past. I'm sure you know Sugar Cult.
Yeah,
you've heard of them.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I mean, I've been a fan of them. I met them when they were traveling in a van, going with Blink-182. Like, they were outside of Blink-182. They weren't even officially on the tour. And I met them, and I've been a fan of them for a while. And they left their management, and now they're all by themselves. They're going in an independent route. So I contacted them, tried to get some music from them. They never got in touch with me. But it was funny, some of the bigger bands, like Radiohead and stuff, where they're releasing their own music and they're claiming they're completely independent and stuff. I think it would be a huge leap if one of those bands gave a song for free or for very little money to an independent filmmaker like myself, or someone that can't afford a major band or a studio. I think that would just be, I think that would be another huge step towards what they're trying to get at with total independent music. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yep. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's
unfortunately it's not the case.
No. Did you? I mean, during the break, did you end up actually seeing any good movies?
I did. 500 Days of Summer. Finally got to watch it.
Yeah, we both pretty much got ours the same day or thereabouts, and I finally got around to watching too. Funny thing is, I actually got my parents to watch it, and they were very nonplussed about it. Like, they just they were like, yeah, it's a movie, and I was like, how can you not like this movie? Like, this movie is epic It's just really good. I appreciate it. I connected with it. I enjoyed it. And I was just sitting there looking at my parents like, are you cold-hearted or something since you've gotten old, or what's the deal? Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. And we were talking actually about a new evolution in interactivity with a movie like, specifically citing 500 Days of Summer. You were talking about, right before the show, we were talking about an iPhone app that is compatible with 500 Days of Summer. So why don't you talk about that?
See if the case. I opened up the case to it, and I saw what we were talking about. What was it, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? We were talking about on the Inglourious Bastards. They had an app for the remote, right? It was to turn your iPod or iPhone into a remote.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, and I said, wow, you would think they would use that to like try to get you to buy the soundtrack. And I open up the 500 Days of Summer Blu-ray, and lo and behold, the first insert I see is interact with the movie like never before using your iPhone or a computer. So this is a little bit different, but it's an app that you can download from Fox, and it's the 500 Days of Summer app. And you turn on the app when you turn on the movie, and then it's supposed to explore the music that is essential to 500 Days of Summer, compare your dating experiences on Twitter, and brush up on the movie's pop culture references. So pretty much on your iPod or iPhone, you're gonna have a somewhat of like an interactive picture-in-picture commentary type thing, where it's gonna be trivia tracks, and you're gonna be connected to Twitter, and it's gonna like try to make you probably buy the soundtrack. So I think it's really getting to a point where it's like trying to really get you. They're really just trying to sell you more stuff, but it's a more immersive movie-going experience now through your iPod and iPhone. But really, they're trying to get more money out of you.
And
you were saying something You were saying something before. Do you want to? What you were telling me before when I told you about this?
Yeah, no, I was saying that. Do you think that it was, it's something that would really interrupt the viewing experience? I would, and I guess the response that we were both talking about was, well, maybe on the first viewing, but if you're one of those people that goes through the disc and listens to the special features and all that kind of stuff anyway, that extra functionality might be something that would be, something that might be interesting in the future. Or something like that.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of like a more interactive picture-in-picture commentary, which you don't watch it the first time you're watching a movie, but on second or third or fifth or whatever time you're screening it, it might be fun to sit there with a little app that's letting you see some like facts about the movie, and you can connect with people on Twitter, or you could do whatever through your iPod while watching the movie. Which you really could do by yourself, just looking it up and stuff. But I guess they put it in a pretty little app. But I don't know. It could be fun. I haven't done it yet because I don't have an iPod or an iPhone, and I don't have a computer at the moment.
Fair enough. So yeah, you know what the funny thing about that is?
I love how they're all a hot topic now. Dear God, Jerry is a hot topic guy.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, let me comment on this.
Well, you have 1 minute to comment on it before the show ends, so go ahead.
Well, let me try to redeem myself then. I buy the novelty shirts they sell, but I haven't in a while. But so I try. Sometimes I get some band shirts too. But yeah, I like Green Day and Blink-182 and stuff like that, and I don't care. I'll go into Hot Topic, and say whatever you will. You're like my little brother. He's like, why would you go on a Hot Topic? Because he's like, well, sports. And he's like, why do you go on a Hot Topic? That place is for losers. I'm like, okay, but if that's what you think, fine. I think I just lost people from Team Jerry.
Yeah, you actually really have. And that being said, I'm pretty interested to see what apparently your little brother has better taste in clothes than you do. that being said, I mean, a lot of the shirts and types of stuff you can find, I think how a lot of people our age get away with buying quote unquote Hot Topic like clothes is we just go to like sites like Jinx and Threadless and stuff like that, and that's where we buy our shirts.
That's the whole thing. I don't buy anything in Hot Topic anymore. I buy them through like online sites. Like I used to buy movie shirts there and stuff because that was the only place in the mall that would have it. But now I just buy all my stuff online. Or I make my own through Zazzle.
Yeah.
Where I have stuck like Chuck shirts for.
Well, look, we're dropping a couple of viewers over here because it's that time of the night again. I think it's important for us to kind of end on a good note because I got to tell you guys, we have a huge month planned out for you guys. If you guys have been listening to us for a while and you've been kind of up to what we're doing, you guys will know that, all the people we've been talking about recently, John Reese and his book, Think Outside the Box Office, guess what? He's here. Open Indie, Aaron Crumley, guess what? He's coming here. You know what? We've got, another, next week, actually stay tuned for next week, not next week, this Friday, we have Ben Hicks coming on, who's another of the New Breed directors. You really guys got to stick around every episode this month. And I would say from every month on forward is going to be packed with epicness. And if you miss it, I really think that it may somehow be a detriment to yourself, your health, and your movie making and movie watching experience. So I'm just saying, you really need to be here. So that being said, I want to say thank you to Zak Forsman for coming on tonight, also for donating the movies, the Sabi Pictures, I Fucking Hate You, a short film about letting go, and model photographer. I want to say thank you to our viewers who won 2 3-packs of Sabi Pictures. You can find more information about Sabi Pictures, www.sabipictures.com. You can find more information about Cinefist at www.cinefist.com. You can also find more information about Filmsnobbery and what we're up to over at filmsnobbery.com, including the schedule of future, you can actually check out our schedule now of future guests and other events that we're going to be doing. We've got Trauma Dance planned for April. We've got just a huge packed year that we're going to throw up in front of you. And also don't miss out the end of this year, the end of this month is our 1-year anniversary, and we're trying hard to plan something special for that. Some of it, depends on who we can get here in studio and some of the other things we're working on. But, we're just ramping up. So thank you, everyone who showed up tonight. And thank you, everyone who's following us on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter if you're not already. We are at Filmsnobbery. That's twitter.com/Filmsnobbery. You can follow Mr. Jerry Cavallaro, director of movies such as Stuck Like Chuck and the upcoming movie that is currently in pre-production, Stuck Like Chuck 2, over at You can actually find more information on that over at www.stucklikechuck.com. Also follow Jerry over at www.twitter.com/getstuck. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone who was in the audience tonight. Specifically, I want to thank Andre, Bobby Bless, No Restrictions, Broadcast Assassin, who is actually our new executive producer, Jeff Koenig. I also want to thank Desert Vows, our contest winner, Marinelle. I also want to thank John Trigonis for stopping by, Rainy Cat, Sacred Flash, Screamstress, Zak Forsman for being here. Everyone, thank you very much. Have yourself an excellent night. Bye-bye.